I've talked to some precious metals dealers in the Springfield, Missouri market, and when the price of silver was at spot was $34, they wanted $38 for that same silver dollar we're talking about. So there was a $4 spread from 34 to 38. Your spread is less than half of that. It's unbelievable.
That's true. And the reason one of the reasons we can do that is because of the volume that we have. But keep in mind that the premiums on those coins are going to go up and down at times when the markets are moving. Demand is going to be a big factor in what the what the prices are, the difference between the buy and the sell price are. But like I said, again, the premium on these coins at this time, I think, is probably one of the best I've ever seen in my nearly 10 years of being with Swiss America even. And I just think that there's no better time to be getting these than now.
Class, I'd like to put a personal note here. I think that silver is a great way to go. I'm not saying it's the only way to go, but I'm saying that at those numbers, I am absolutely shocked because those numbers are lower than what you can get metals for locally. So I suggest you consider, this is not a commercial class, I suggest you consider calling Steve Rand after we're done here and talk about these numbers. $41 shipped, delivered. It's incredible. I'm not kidding. Steve, let's talk about bullion versus numismatics. Can we get into that? And then we've got about 4 minutes or so. Then we're going into another break. But let's go into the difference between bullion and numismatic coins for the new investor, please.
All right. Basically, what we would try to do for people is first try to understand their goals, their timeline, what they're trying to accomplish with this metals purchase, because we want to make sure that we're helping them to get into the right area of the market at that particular time for them. So you're at a fork in the road. Do I buy bullion coins? Do I buy numismatics? And it really comes down to those goals. If someone's simply looking for a defensive position against inflation, something that's going to help them to compensate for their rising cost of living by something that's going to go up equally with their metals, so that what they can buy with an ounce of silver today or an ounce of gold today, they can buy in the future if that price is 3 or 4 times as high, then bullion's going to be a more suitable choice for them. However, if you're looking for something that's going to do that for you, and you're also looking for something that's going to give you the added privacy that numismatics provide, or something that could potentially give you a larger potential for growth, or something that typically isn't going to be as volatile because of the large swings that Wall Street's impact can have on the metals markets through exchange-traded funds and things, then we might recommend numismatics. But again, it depends on the individual investor and what they're trying to accomplish. And by calling Swiss America or looking at the different companies out there with a proven track record, if you're trying to determine what's right, you first want to assess those goals with your advisor to make sure that the products you're choosing are going to be appropriate to what you're trying to accomplish. It's not a cookie-cutter thing. We can't just tell you over the phone in 10 seconds which one should I buy. We need to get a better feel for who you are if you want a true assessment of what's going to be best for you.
Class, I've talked to Swiss America many times, and I've talked at length, and no one has ever said, you know what, can you hurry up because I got to go. You guys all have plenty of time. So would you say that your team that's going to help our class would be you and Phil,
Richard.
And Richard, yes. Is it, so they asked for you, Steve Rand, or they asked for Richard Cromwell or Phil Gordon. Is that correct?
That's correct. And again, everybody here at Swiss America is a quality individual that's going to be able to help you. But specifically, I think the reason that you folks have been recommending Richard Cromwell, Phil Gordon, and myself is because that we have a lot of experience in this market. We're certainly going to be able to look at the individual needs, especially of your clientele, who we understand what they're trying to do as opposed to the investors that are looking for something completely different. And I think we can really help you to be able to get a good assessment of what's right for you and make sure that the products you're selecting are going to be appropriate for those needs.
Well, Steve, you guys, all three of you gentlemen, were at the Spring Expo, and we had so many wonderful compliments on your booth, the information that you gave out. So many people learned a lot about precious metals, and I know a lot of folks have called you. They've become customers. They've been purchasing from Swiss America. So we're really excited that you gentlemen are helping our class members here at USA Prepares.
And we're very excited about it, too, and we appreciate the opportunity, and we look forward to getting back there to meet more of the fine folks in Missouri and Arkansas and all over the Midwest that we met before. It was a real bunch of good people we spoke to, and we're really excited about getting back and doing this again.
Hey, Steve, can you give us an update? Because last time I talked with Craig Smith, the chairman of your company, chairman of the board, he said there might be a possibility, he didn't confirm it, but he said there's a possibility that you guys might bring down $1 million worth of gold to the show. Any update on that?
Well, we're looking to work out the logistics on this. We need to find out from an insurance standpoint of what we can do. But, I know that Craig had talked about that, and I know that he's trying desperately to make all these things happen, but it's just a question of trying to make sure the logistics are worked out. I'm really not 100% certain right now, but we're certainly working towards that.
Well, I'll tell you, that would be absolutely fascinating. That would be fun, and I think a lot of people would be really interested in that, Steve. Hey, we're going to take a brief bottom-of-the-hour break, Steve, and we'll be back on USA Prepares. I'm Mark Wright. I'm here with Vincent Finelli and Steve Rand from Swiss America.
Please return to your seats. Class is now in session at usaprepares.com. Interact now by emailing instructor@usaprepares.com or text 417-200-4715. And now, Vincent Finelli and Mark Wright.
And we're back on USA Prepares. I am Mark Wright. I'm here with the original survival economist, Vincent Finelli, on KWTO 560 AM, the powerhouse of the Midwest.
USA Prepares will be broadcasting live during the Ozark Empire Fair starting Monday, August 1st through Friday, August 5th from 3 to 4 p.m. on the KWTO stage. Your instructors, Vincent and Mark, invite you out to the fair and encourage you to stop by and say hi as they broadcast live to their class around the Midwest. And on Friday, August 5th, don't miss nationally syndicated talk show host Jim Bohannon from Westwood One, our guest on the program. Oh boy, are we excited to have Jim Bohannon. Starting at 5:30 p.m., USA Prepares will host a VIP dinner with Jim Bohannon at the fair. And we want to invite you to join us for dinner. Vincent and Mark have all the details on how you could be one of 25 people at a VIP dinner with Jim Bohannon. Guys, take it away.
Oh, thank you, boss. I appreciate that. And I tell you, we are going to have an absolutely great time a week from this Friday out at the fairgrounds. Vinny, you and I will be broadcasting live on the KWTO stage at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds from August 1st through the 5th. So you can come out during the week and join us. Say hi during the broadcast. And then on Friday afternoon, Vinny, we have Jim Bohannon's going to be our guest.
At dinner.
Well, he's going to be our guest on the program.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be on the radio with us. And then from 5:30 to 7:30, we're going to have the VIP dinner. And we're giving away tickets.
We are.
And we've given away a couple pair of tickets the last few days. And we'll give some more away here in a minute. I got the names somewhere around here, but we got a few more people. So if you're interested in becoming eligible to win a couple of tickets, there's two ways you can do it. Number one, email us. Go to usaprepares.com. Send us an email. And that's how you can get enrolled into the drawing. Or number two, go to our USA Prepares Facebook page, hit like, and we'll enter you in that way. So I'm pumped for Jim Bohannon, Vinny.
And as the boss said, oh boy, are we excited about the fair.
Yes, we are. Hey, Steve, you want to jump on a plane and come out to the fairgrounds with us?
Yeah, I wish I could do that. If I didn't have things going on with my kids this weekend, I might do that. That sounds pretty tempting. Although I did hear the humidity level and the temperature right now. I'm not so sure I want to come there this weekend.
Yeah,
I understand. Hopefully by next week it'll cool down a little bit out here.
I hope so. But I grew up in the Northeast, and that humidity is something I don't miss a bit.
Steve, I've got a question from one of our students. What is the difference between numismatic and bullion in a thumbnail?
Now, basically, bullion is going to be anything you buy at its weight level. So if you're buying a bar of gold or silver, or you're buying something like a Krugerrand, an American Eagle, a Maple Leaf, anything you buy based on the weight level of gold, even coins like the Swiss franc or the British sovereign, some of the older coins, those are going to be considered a bullion product. A numismatic coin is going to be something that has some collectible value. And, that's for some people and it's not for others. Again, the difference is we need to find out what makes sense for that individual. And, a numismatic coin isn't going to be right for everybody. A bullion coin isn't going to be right for everybody. We need to get a better idea of what's going to make more sense for their goals.
So we're saying that a numismatic is a coin that has some rarity to it that drives its price up higher than the metal value.
Well, it can. It doesn't necessarily every time the metal price moves. You'll see days when the price of gold will go up $20 and a numismatic coin will go up 60. You'll see days when the price of gold drops $10 and the price of a numismatic goes up 20. There's no exact science to it. What it comes down to is supply and demand in the market. I'll give you a good example. The difference between, from a standpoint of growth, if you own a property in the middle of a field in the middle of Missouri where there's really not a lot of demand for land out there,
that sounds like
you're
my
not
farm.
going to pay the same. Exactly. It's not going to be the same as an acre of land in downtown St. Louis. There's less supply of that. There's more demand for that.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, typically, when the markets move, you will get a much greater impact on that type of land. That's going to be your numismatic. Now, the biggest misconception is people think, well, I have to be a collector. I have to understand these investments. I have to make sure that I have a full concept of coins before I do anything. When most of the same people, if they look at their mutual funds, they probably don't know that many of the individual stocks they own, but they would get the advice of an advisor who's going to help protect their money and help to make sure that they're looking at the right funds, just like we would help you to be able to go through the process of listening to your goals and determining what's right for you so that we can help direct you in the right area that's going to make the most sense. Sometimes that'll be numismatics. Sometimes that'll be bullion. It just depends on the individual.
I have another question from a student. He's asking about certified coins. Can you talk about what that means when a coin is certified? What does it look like?
Yeah, absolutely. Every coin you're going to get that's been certified means that it's been individually graded on a scale of 0 to 70 by either the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. See, up until the mid-'80s, dealers graded their own coins, which obviously created some conflict of interest. So what would happen was the dealers got together and said, we'd like to have a couple companies that would take over this sector of the market so that there is no longer a conflict of interest. The dealers would sell the coins. The grading companies would certify the coins appropriately. And by using this scale, you can determine on a scale of 0 to 70 how closely a coin resembles a freshly minted coin. Once they've determined this, and they've had a series of experts look at this, they will encapsulate the coin. They'll hermetically seal the coin in a hard plastic case that allows you to look at the coin on both sides. They will place the grade of the coin, the year of the coin, the mint mark if there is one, and the denomination, and it will all be barcoded inside the case so that it can't be tampered with. So that somebody who's buying a coin knows that if they buy this coin today and it says it's a Mint State 63 coin, and if they go to sell this coin back several years later, it's still going to be a Mint State 63 coin.
Steve, let me see if I've got this right. So for our class, if one of our students wanted to buy a Mint State 63, 64, 65, whatever it is, they would be able to call someone, including Swiss America, and say, I have this specific coin, it is this grade, Mint State, whatever the number is, and they would be able to get a rough value of what that's worth at that second. Is that correct? Without looking at it?
Absolutely. And then when Swiss America, you're also dealing with a company who deals specifically in sightseeing coins, knowing that the eye appeal of a coin makes a huge amount of difference. It's not so much subject in the grading, but it's another thing to look at to make sure that you're getting a coin with terrific eye appeal. You also want to make sure when you're working with a dealer, you're working with a dealer who has a great two-way market and is going to be able to put their disclosures out there for you to make sure that you know exactly what you're getting, and they're willing to put all this in writing.
Well, that was another question we have. Okay, so and the question deals with liquidity. So if I have taken some Federal Reserve notes, let's say I've taken $5,000 worth of Federal Reserve notes and changed them into gold coins. If I wanted to sell them at some point in the future, what would I do with Swiss America? How would that work?
Well, you'd simply call Swiss America, and the number again is 800-289-2646 to get to myself, Richard, or Phil. And what you would do is you would call us and say, look, I need some money to go on vacation, or my cost of living has increased too much, and I need to go ahead and sell off a couple coins to compensate for that. If whatever the reason you need to sell your coins, you give us a call and let us know that you're sending them in. We'll verify that you have the correct address to send them to. Once we receive the coins, we'll call you. We'll do a verbal liquidation of those coins at that time at the price right over the phone, and within a few days, a check goes out. Every check goes out within 3 business days from when you do the liquidation. So you're always going to be liquid very quickly.